Hello! Happy New Year, everyone, and great to have you all back to the Unleashed channel for live hang number 8. Can you believe it? We've been doing this for 8 damn weeks.
Daddy's home, boys.
Daddy's
Hey, bud.
home.
Let's party.
Sexy times.
That's right. We're building our own little party every Friday here at 5 Pacific. And I see some of the gang is already in the chat tonight. Let's see who we got here. Kevin Smith. Hey, bud, let's party. That's right. And I know that dude. And Spicoli, of course, fire it up. Yeah, do whatever you guys do. I almost was going to drink tonight, but then I was feeling a little like, meh. How was everybody's New Year's, though? Mine was not eventful. It's your boy Jerome Davis. Hi, Eric. Hey, Jerome. Yeah, New Year's Eve for me, I conked out by 9 p.m. So, like, even before the ball dropped on the East Coast, I was out. I had made 2 very strong eggnogs. I had gotten on the nog. I noticed that the last couple times I've drank, I've tried to be like Hank the Tank from Old School. Remember that movie Old School? Where it's like, yeah, let's party like the old days. And I just, what was it? I think we had a Christmas party here, and I tried to drink like 9 shots of tequila and thought I could do that. Like I was in my 20s or something. And I ended up totally passing out, like just walking over to my bedroom and passing out. And last night was really no different. We had talked about going to Tony's, Susan and I. Her friend Amber was coming by, and Susan had been honestly ready to go out from very early. It looked like from 5 o'clock she had her go out outfit on, which I was like, I was schlubbed up. I thought we're not leaving till 10 or something tonight. If we're only going for 2 hours or whatever she was suggesting to Tony's. I think I got dressed around like 7. Amber showed up. They started having some champagne. I decided to get on the nog, had some brandy there, made the nogs way too stiff. I was like, yeah, I want to make sure I really taste the booze in here. And made 2 stiffs, one of eggnogs or what have you. Within 30 minutes, I found myself just getting all groggy, and I totally just tiptoed out, left the party, walked into my room, passed out, decided not to even go out with them because it was going to be so many hours till midnight anyway. And if I was already feeling tired, like I'm going to be lame. And if I don't know exactly what's on the itinerary, I get my anxiety shoots up. I have to know exactly where we're going. I need a full itinerary, like a tour itinerary, like when you're on the road and they tell you what time everything's at and where you're going to be. I need that. If I don't have that, I just freak out. Some people like to be really loose with that sort of thing and just like to be surprised. Where are we going? Surprise me. Not me. I don't like to be surprised at all. What about you guys? But let me know what you did. I know we're all kind of older, our crowd. I've kind of learned that on the nights that everybody goes out, that's the one night you shouldn't go out because all the younger people feel obligated to go out on New Year's Eve, get totally hosed on a dinner, taking their girlfriend out, drinking more than they normally do. And sometimes bad things can happen on New Year's Eve. Car accidents, number one. What else we got going on here tonight? Let me see. Skylar B, Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year, Skylar B. Stony Jackson, let's go. Stony, always appreciate the promotions. A lot of you guys have been sharing the advertisements for the Hangouts and the what's the other thing I just put out this week? Road to Rocktember. I'm sitting on a good amount of road vlogs, if you will, that I haven't got around to editing. There'll be some more coming in 2026 for new shows, of course. I'll be on the ball for those. But this one I had just put out on New Year's Eve, kind of at the last second. YouTube, I feel like the algorithms were not like pushing it all that much for some reason. Like, it might have been because I screwed up after the Fright Bite, and when I went to make a small edit afterward, I mistakenly reposted the video like 3 times. So apologies for that. I normally don't do such a thing, and I was thinking that it was an instantaneous edit with YouTube where I would make this change and it would happen right away. So when it wasn't happening right away, I panicked and like did the whole maneuver like 3 more times. And unfortunately, it posted it 3 times. I think everybody got notifications 3 times. Some people actually like left the channel over it. I mean, mistakes happen. My channel, even though I started it 10 years ago, I somewhat abandoned it, abandoned the channel, and just revved it up again like 3 months ago. So in my eyes, it's kind of a brand new channel for the most part. We got Bob C with us tonight. I'm going to go grab his super chat. Bob, what's happening, buddy? You needed a sound check for New Year's? I relate. That's great. Always great to see Bob, a really good buddy of mine. Yeah, this week was pretty awesome. We had the Fright Bite, and any of you that were there, I appreciate it. Those are a lot of fun. That's just kind of getting started. The Fright Bite, I think a lot of the Unleashed crowd doesn't quite know what to think of it. Like, what is this? They're used to seeing me with Stephen Pearcy. They didn't realize that Count Cracula has been doing the Fright Bite with Chris Aiken from the Chris Aiken Presents and Classic Metal Show for almost 2 years now, where they would watch crappy movies for the paid subscribers and just kind of riff on it and do stand-up comedy type stuff, a lot of vampire humor. And recently, I just made the decision of as the producer of the Fright Bite to take it to YouTube and kind of just do it a little differently. And right at the exact time that I chose to do this, I came across Dahlia Dark, who has been an amazing addition to the show. I don't know what you guys think about it, but she, to me, right away, I was like, wow, this lady looks exactly like Vampira, and this could be totally awesome. And it turns out she's a sister in comedy. She loves doing characters and coming up with scripts and lines. She's full of surprises. As we mentioned at the last Hangout, she probably one of the coolest things we saw her do was she was on an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which was super cool. I went and paid for that episode, season 5, episode 8. You can see Dahlia in that, but you can see her every Tuesday at the Fright Bite. And on my Facebook today, I did post a little clip because we had a new character, Dr. Von Brainscan, to the show. And I brought the little clip so I play for you guys. Maybe those of you that haven't seen the Fright Bite and just want to get a whiff of it first, here you go. There's a doctor there, Dr. Von Brainscan. Okay. And I Venmo'd him because I need some help. I need some serums to help possibly defeat Sugar Smack. And I'm going to try to get them on the line today. Let's see if we can get them here.
Oh, that explains why he wears the mask. So maybe he has a secret he's hiding from us.
Hey, Dr. Brainscan.
Dracula. How you doing?
Doing good. How about you, buddy?
Good. Just working
Dr.
away
Von
in the lab.
Brainscan.
Same old, as per the usual.
Yeah, you got my serums?
What? I got your request to come up with a plan to defeat Sugar Smack.
All right, let's hear it.
Working hard. Your vampire dollars are hard at work here at the laboratory. And I want you to know, I'm working on 2 top secret serums. One for you and one for Dahlia. But shh, it's a secret. I can't tell you what they do yet, but it's gonna help you in your fight against Sugar Smack. You just wait.
This is great news.
Well, that's fantastic. I want to wish you both the best of luck with the Fright Bite.
Oh, thank you, buddy. So we'll see
I
you
should
next
have
week.
this ready for you by next week.
Good.
And this could be the end of Sugar Smack.
Oh, that's music to my ears, my friend.
Okay,
All right, we'll see you then.
will do. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Wow.
Well, there There
That is
you
a
have
pretty
it.
cool looking lab, I have to say. If I worked in a lab that looked like Space Mountain at Disneyland, I would be really happy.
Right.
You know?
Dr. Von Brain Scan, everyone. He's a new cast member to the Fright Bite, but he'll be working on secret stuff in his underground military scientific laboratory. Yeah.
Hey, bud. Let's party.
So Count Cracula's a fan of Spicoli also, as you can see. But these are a lot of fun. Like, I'm stepping up the Fright Bite, and I thought, hey, instead of facing copyright claims playing other people's crappy movies, why don't Dahlia and I start making our own crappy movies and have these characters and stuff on the Fright Bite and interesting little backstories that you guys can look forward to every Tuesday. For those of you that watched the first Fright Bite, you probably saw Sugar Smack, which is the nemesis of the Chris Aiken Presents and Chris Aiken. In the past, he would haunt Chris Aiken by sneaking into his house. Who's he? It's Sugar Smack. He is a weird entity from another dimension that likes to challenge people with riddles, and he hides nasty tasting food in your house. And if you don't get the riddle right, you have to eat whatever it is. And he smacks you with the sugar. And he's been around for a while. And Chris Aiken used to hate Sugar Smack, hated him. And now that Chris isn't a part of the Fright Bite, Sugar Smack has decided to set his sights on Count Cracula. And so he's been trolling Count Cracula, making Dahlia solve riddles, which are very, very hard to do, especially for someone who just joined the show. Count Cracula thought, why not employ the services of one of his connections from the government, a mad scientist that works in an underground laboratory that Count Cracula does favors for the government on occasion, and they in turn do some favors for him. And as you saw, Dr. Von Brainscan is working on some serums to help Count Cracula defeat Sugar Smack and maybe banish him from this dimension, if possible. You'll have to tune in on Tuesday to find out what happens with that. What are these secret serums? What do they do? Are they dangerous? Do they have side effects? We're not sure. But if you're there on Tuesday, you will find the F out. It's your boy Jerome. Here's to an Unleashed 2026. Oh, thank you so much, Jerome. I'll tell you, Jerome was one of the winners of a Fright Bite t-shirt that we are making right now. We had 3 winners. We had your boy Jerome, we had Eternal Servant, and NCP all won t-shirts at the last Fright Bite. So that's something we're doing with the super chats on Tuesday. We're letting all the people that super chat spin the wheel of misfortune. And the wheel of misfortune is supposed to have a ton of bad things on it and one good thing. But for some reason, when Dahlia was spinning it, she was giving too many good things. But what can you say? What can you say? Stony Jackson, Dahlia is awesome. Well, that is good to hear. Skylar, Dahlia is cool. Yes. It's your boy. Dahlia is cool. Seems like a nice person. She is. For a vampira, she's pretty nice. But I don't know. You have to be careful, though. Sometimes people aren't always as they seem. She could be very dangerous. You don't want to find that out. You know, that could be not Dr. Von Brainscan. Cemetery Gates. Yes. Ha ha ha. Too rad. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. The special effects Dahlia and I are getting into now are kind of on par with a lot of 90s Nickelodeon shows or something. But I love having the capability to do such things. Like for me, I always was creative with little few tools I had. I would try to be funny with it, or, you know, make stickers and put them on top of thumbnails and do different stuff. But now, this time period we're living in, as you guys know, there's so much cool stuff you could do visually. The last Fright Bite, the only tough thing was my computer seemed to be overheating or locking up a little bit. So one thing I did this week The Count's got his vampire dollars into a new serum, but I have your super chat dollars went towards a new Mac to do the show. I ordered a Mac Mini from straight from Apple. I have their Apple credit card where you can do the no interest payments on there. So they spread it out over a year. It was only like $106 a month. It's got the M4 chip, 24 gigs of memory, a terabyte of SSD storage, and I also got this cool educational package, which I think when I used to teach guitar years ago, I qualified for this, but it gives you like a really great deal on their bundle of software like Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Motion, Compressor, and Main Stage, which that should be interesting. Because I know on the Fright Bite, Count Cracula wants to perform songs for Dahlia, and we got to get that whole thing worked out. It's been kind of a mess because there's a little bit of a delay when he tries to like use StreamYard's background track, so it makes it hard to sing on time over it. And then there's also a few issues where trying to plug into a second input and play stereo, it made my voice only mono on the left. When if you listen on headphones, I'm only coming in on the left when I talk, even though the guitar was coming in on both sides. So there's some hurdles to overcome. But I have a feeling that with the newer Mac I'm getting, it's going to be able to use multiple apps at the same time and integrate everything to where it's going to work a lot smoother for the show. Plus, with Final Cut Pro, I can really start doing some cool special effects. I love doing the monster characters, and it's just cool. I mean, a lot of shows will have guests on them, to keep it a variety to it. But I love any kind of stand up kind of stuff like that. Conan O'Brien comes to mind. Like, he'd always have like his reoccurring characters that would come on the show. The masturbating bear or whatever, different people would come out, but and it was just a silly like break from reality. I mean, when I would had times where I worked day jobs and I would come home from working and I would make dinner and sit in the lazy boy and be watching late night TV or whatever back in the late 90s or whatever, and Conan would come on at like 11 or something, and I would like how stupid everything was, just how mindless all the characters that came. It was like a break from the real world, and I think there's enough doom and gloom channels you can get sucked into out there, and I just kind of wanted to offer on Tuesdays and Fridays an alternative to that, where we're just kind of hanging and trying to laugh at our lives as much as possible. So that's my motivation with the Fright Bite. I hope you guys are kind of getting what I'm trying to do with it. Let's see what else we got here. Cemetery Gaze, does it help with fighting off humanity? I might have. Oh well, with the serums, or the serum that Count Cracula wants is something that'll keep him from having to eat whatever Sugar Smack's going to throw at him next. Because I have a feeling for 2026, it's going to be something extra nasty. Let me see here. It's your boy Jerome. Is that a reference to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Dave? Maybe. Let's see, Skylar. Wheel of Misfortune was fun. Yeah, we had to, on the spot, like come up with all the bad things that you could land on that weren't too awful. You don't want to bring into fruition like literally too bad of things, but there were some bad ones in there, like a IRS audit. There was jury duty. That one came up a lot. Nobody wants jury duty. Count Cracula says he just throws those in the trash, which I don't advise that, but he says he just throws them in the trash. That's his suggestion. Rat and Roll, thanks Eric for Unleashed. Set you pick the other day with my granddaughter with the new Rat shirt. Yes, you have a beautiful granddaughter, and I saw the Rat shirt. That is so cool. I did go up and do another session up at Matt's on the new Stephen Pearcy record. And it was another awesome sesh with Matt Thorne up there. He's always great to work with, and there was two more songs that I had to throw guitars on of the first 6. The other 6 I have to actually like recreate all the MIDI tracks for, because as I had mentioned, my old hard drive totally took a dump that had those on there, and I never know which songs Steven is going to pick to do for the record. He has probably 40 songs, to pick from that I've written for him in the last probably 5 years, 6 years. So I really didn't know. And some of them, are obviously on the older end. Maybe I wrote them 5 years ago. So I don't have it nearby. I mean, I've maybe on my second computer since then or whatever. It's on another drive or it's up in a cloud. But for some reason, it looks like they were on this drive that froze or whatever. I could probably bring it to somebody, and then you risk them looking at all your stuff or whatever. They could try to recover it. But I do have the MP3s at least, so I know what the song basically sounds like. I could certainly recreate it and probably make it a little cooler. But that's going to take a little bit of time. So in the next 2 weeks, I'll be doing that for the other 6 songs, and then heading up and knocking those out. Let me see. What else did I have for you guys to talk about? Oh, yeah. I was going to talk about my my day at the grocery store today.
Sexy times.
Grocery store was packed for the first day of like 2026. Of course, today's the second is when all the snap cards refill, so it's probably a big shopping day. Lots of lines in there, lots of zombies walking around. I always struggle. I like to go to stores late at night and stuff, even though the people are weird at night too. There's just less of them. Like for me, the worst times to go is the daytime, when a lot of older folks will be mulling around in there because they have a difficult time navigating their carts, and it's just a stress for me to be in the grocery store. But I was in a really long line today on the checkout, and there was a kid that I haven't seen. Like every so often, a new checker will be at Winco, and this kid seems pretty cool for the most part, probably 25. And I think those are good jobs to have, honestly. Like a checker at the grocery store gets all kinds of benefits. So he's smart at his age to take a kind of somewhat of a career position with a grocery store like that. There's probably possibly some room to move up, and they get some kind of profit sharing thing at those Wincos or something. But he's new is where I'm going with this. And one thing I noticed he did with like 3 of the women that were in front of me, which was like a total no-no. And I thought about, man, should I have said something to him to inform him about life or whatever? But I noticed all 3 of these women had purchased some type of alcohol, be it wine or beer or whatever. And, when somebody's like under 40 years old or something like that, you're supposed to put their birth date in or something, right? Well, these women were clearly, at a minimal 60, and I watched each one. It was like, can I have your birth date? Like, for one, that's kind of personal information. You know what I mean? So most people don't want to give their birth date out anyway. And I guess you could have a fake one in your head and just whatever, give them the wrong one. But the fact that, a typical person, their honest reaction is going to be to give their actual birth date. And it gives away a woman's age. And as we know, certainly after like age 30, most people don't want to say how old they really are. Women, from my experience, definitely don't like. They'll give you like a range of their life or where they are in their life, but they won't tell you probably the exact age. And I was just thinking, man, this kid like should have totally just put his own birth date in. I'm sure he was at least, if he's selling alcohol there, you have to be at least 21 or whatever. I would guess him to be probably 25 years old. He should have just put his own birth date in and saved these women the embarrassment like 3 times in a row. And as a young guy, he probably thought he had the whole world figured out. He's probably thinking, I'll make them think they look young by asking their age or whatever. But no. It's you're forcing them to not only give up their age, but give it up to everybody that's in line behind them. It's super embarrassing. So,
What are you people? On dope?
What do we got here? David Mills. Y'all have good chemistry. What's up, David Mills? Yeah, I'm stoked on doing the Fright Bite with Dahlia. I'm not gonna lie, because I just have a lot of fun doing the characters. Count Cracula, the alter ego of mine, he lives inside me, and it's awesome. I love it doing that, having a chance to entertain people and just be silly. And she likes doing that same stuff. So expect characters from her. She just bought a new computer also, and her husband helped them just set up some other programs and everything. So she's all in too. And there's going to be, I think the show's going to just keep improving and improving each week. And it'd be cool if you guys were, along for the ride and just get to see it go down. Okay, I don't want to miss too much here. What do we got? Fright Bite was cool, says Spicoli. Okay, let me see. I got to get back on track here. Okay, here's where I was. Black Phillip, how you doing, bud? Dahlia really was putting the effins to Count Cracula with the shipping costs on those shirts. Yeah, that's so funny, Black Phillip. As I was like reinvestigating the video, what I noticed was happening was she would spin it, and then when she turned the wheel to like look at what it was turning it to a winner like each time for some reason. But that's our own fault, so we're gonna stick to it, and we're still sending a T-shirt to Japan to Eternal Servage. We'll still get a T-shirt. I'm gonna hold to it, but definitely I'm gonna like have her check out what's going on with that wheel, or at least be mindful of that. But that was funny looking back, how Cracula getting all mad at Dahlia for giving so many winners away. It was almost like a slot machine in Vegas that was paying off too much. Somebody should get fired for that. Devon, Eric, did you see my comment? I think so. Maybe not. Let me go back. I mean, I probably missed a couple. Let me see. I don't know. How far back was your comment? Was it a super chat? Because I will go over and double check those. Let me see. Skylar, I'll take jury duty over an audit. Yeah, I would say so. Let me see. Thomas Bailey, Happy New Year, Eric. Cheers. Cheers, my friend. Somebody got mad at me over Thomas Bailey, who Thomas and I are friends, and we have no issues. But we had got in a science discussion last week or something, and somebody else that was watching the replay was offended by me joking with Thomas, saying that he was asleep because he didn't see the whatever my tinfoil hat views on a topic. But this person was mad and said that I lost a viewer and took off. And there's not much I could say at that point. They were upset that I wasn't giving evidence, but I'm not sure when they tuned into the show. I'm always willing to share some evidence on topics. I mean, I don't shoot all the bullets in my gun at one time. You know what I mean? I pull out a couple hot button items to consider, and if I need more, I have them. Or if somebody has more questions, I can do it. But I think if I ever say something on the live show and you want me to elaborate the following week, that's the way to do it. But of course, it's always a bummer when somebody voices that they're upset with you on some level and they're leaving. And honestly, it made me rush and go put this out really quick so I could get a couple more people back to replace the ones that maybe didn't agree with me from the last show. But yeah, Road to Rocktember. That was a cool show. It was actually Loverboy and Aldo Nova, which when I was a little kid, I thought Aldo Nova was awesome. Life is Just a Fantasy and Monkey on Your Back were like two totally awesome jams. The video for Life is Just a Fantasy was like a total 80s classic in the early MTV days. And so it was super cool that he was on the bill. My friend Dario plays bass for him. and Jack Frost on guitar. And I kind of caught a cool moment where they're playing my favorite song from Aldo Nova, which is Monkey on Your Back. And Jack Frost is doing a pretty badass guitar solo. He's like super getting into it, as you can see. Those shots, if you watch that Road to video, my latest one, I'm on the side of the stage. That's why you're not feeling the full blast of the show. You're just kind of seeing what it's like when you're, in the band and you're just mulling around backstage, and you kind of that's the little spot you're gonna walk to watch bands, is that little side area. And I also did that for Loverboy. And then typically what I'll do is to get some Pearcy shots, I'll just see what the fans have out there, and I'll grab a couple clips for good measure to throw that in. But it was, we headed back to Hinckley, Minnesota, and it was funny. We went back to this hotel that I totally hotboxed a few years earlier when I had taken some something I probably shouldn't have, and smoked it in there, and it just found its way. The smell found its way through the whole place because I blew it in the vent thinking it was good. Steven would always say that. He's like, you gotta blow it through the vent. There's a vent in the bathroom. He would say at any hotel. And that's how you could get away with. This was before they had like vape pens and, stuff that's a little more travel friendly these days. And he does that with cigarettes sometimes. He'll be like, yeah, you gotta know how to do it. You gotta blow it in the bathroom vent, which I don't know. There's a risk. You could very well get a fine for smoking. So you do have to watch out. But it was funny that we were back there and I had recollected it. The other funny thing was I totally thought that there was a big poo in the hallway, and I had my camera out because I'm like, oh, here we go. And I think that thought came to me because I always remember the story that Steven told of when RATT opened for Ozzy in Japan back in the mid 80s, and Ozzy thought it was super funny to the shoes. You're supposed to, for one, you're supposed to leave your shoes outside the hotel door, and Ozzy thought that was silly, and he thought it'd be hilarious to take a poop in his shoe and put it out in the hallway, and he would think that was so funny, in fact, that he'd be rolling on the ground in pain, just laughing, to where everybody else is like, okay, Oz, But anyways, I always remembered that story. So when I was like walking down the hall and I saw what looked to be a giant poo, I had my phone out. I'm like, I can't believe it. I'm coming across my first poo in the hallway. But as I got up there, it was just a sock that was kind of rolled up that must have fallen out of somebody's bag or whatever. But anyways, Black Phillip Conan was the best late night host of all time, in my opinion. And the masturbating bear was the first character I thought of when you mentioned him. Yeah, he had good stuff. I mean, it wasn't high tech comedy or anything, but the ability now with like CapCut and different things, like if you have a green screen going, you can really do so much now. And for me, who has a decent sense of humor and some creativity, I think we're gonna do some really awesome stuff for Fright Bite. The freaks come out at night, especially after midnight. Yes, that is true. And, I heard tonight is supposed to be a full moon. Is that right? Johnny Coffin from Coffin Case. Have you ever seen those guitar cases that look like a coffin? I know Johnny grew up, he's a North County, San Diego guy, and I saw him mention that it was a full moon tonight. So it's been raining here in San Diego the last 4 days. We've had a ton of rain. Yeah.
Off my case, toilet face.
Get off my case, toilet face. Anywho, yeah, probably not going to go all that late tonight. Let me see. Thomas Bailey, Ozzy was a lewd human, dropping a deuce in someone's shoes. That's messed up. Rest in peace, John Michael Osborne. Yeah, he's done a few messed up things. He peed at the Alamo, remember? It was a situation, I kind of got a little more insight on that when we visited the Alamo back in, I guess it was late or the summer of 2024. I am going to put that episode out. It's pretty cool. We go to the San Antonio Zoo, and we got the special treatment, the band, for going there. And the guy who runs it, actually like has a house at the zoo, and it's like after it closed, we got to go down there, and he gave us a private tour of the whole place, gave us refreshments, and it was crazy. He took us into this snake room where the whole band was like playing with snakes. And I hate snakes. I'm like Indiana Jones when it comes to snakes. I didn't even want to go into this snake room, but I do have footage of all those guys playing with that stuff. Marcia, my super carrot, contribution to your Friday night Fireball hangout. Aldo Nova is great. Love the video. Yes, and I hope Aldo Nova is recovered. I mean, that poor dude fell, and I don't want to say he broke his neck, but his back or something. He hurt himself pretty bad and was like canceled all the shows for the year. And I was bummed for Dario and Jack, and that sucks, man. I mean, a lot of us were kind of laid off this year. Thomas, oh, that person too anal. We weren't tripping about the moon landing. Cool, brother. Because I went to check. I'm like, is this Thomas telling me this? But it wasn't. It was that other guy. But whatever. He can always come back when he realizes that, we don't, as I told Thomas, we don't have to agree on everything. And we can focus on the things that we do agree upon. Stony Jackson, I've only gotten one jury duty notice and I shredded it. They kind of changed it here, like recently, where I was solicited for jury duty again, and it didn't. You had to actually like go online to not go or something. I don't know. I had set up a date, but then it was like I wasn't able to easily postpone it again, and I just blew that off too. But I don't know. I could always claim just being old and forgot about it or whatever. Let me see. No, we did that one. My cousin turned me on to Aldo Nova. He was a senior in high school when I was in 7th grade. Loved the cranking guitar. Yeah, there was a lot of songs back then that kind of had that riff, I felt like. But it was like that early 1980 through 1982 pop rock sound. I don't want to leave anybody out. I feel like I did miss some comments tonight. Let me make sure I didn't miss any of these super chats. No. Nope. Got those. Thanks for those, by the way, guys. And yeah. Well, go back to my media assets here. When in doubt, I just have to,
Relax. All right?
What are you people? On dope?
I'm probably not going to go that late tonight. I feel like I'm already getting burnt out as a content creator, trying to keep up with all this. And I'm supposed to be recording. I did a guitar solo for Gary, Sin Crazy Gary, who's in the chat tonight. Finally threw down a more complex solo for him. And he, I think, was happy with it. We'll see. But yeah, see, I'm excited about the new computer because, again, I feel like the thing's jamming up on me. So I think by next Friday, I'll definitely have a new computer that'll be running smooth. But this makes it lame. I don't know exactly what's gone down, but this was a bad showing once more. So I'm going to probably cut out early, guys, tonight. Let me go to my my assets here. But yeah, 2026, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I do have a new computer coming. I ordered it. It should be here anytime now. And that's it. 2026, as per the usual, we'll be here Friday nights. Get ready for another Fright Bite Tuesday. It's going to be awesome. We'll have some new characters that we're bringing in. And we want to see you there. Be cool and be kind to each other. We'll see you guys